Hello, good evening. Well, I guess good morning because it's in the morning. It's about maybe a little bit after 1 a.m. Sunday. What is it now? November 23rd. I put a shirt over my pajamas, sorry. um, let me tell you. Welcome. Welcome back. Welcome to the chaos that is my life. I don't know how else to, say it. My throat hurts. Anyway, I went. Well, no, I didn't go. My husband went to the doctor, and I see him through the phone. You also had to see him for other reasons. He's got his own health problems. I have it worse because even though he's had this horrific big intervention surgery that I thought I was gonna lose him, he's fine. He can work, he can mow the lawn. I mean, yeah, he gets tired because we're not young anymore, but he can drive, he can do everything that I I don't want to use the word normal, but the more that I guess majority of the people do. So, talking to my doctor was a waste of time. I have had, I think, in the past 2 weeks, and I don't know if I mentioned this in the prior video, but it's been one thing after the other. Things have happened to me specifically that you can't explain. And I mean, this redness, which is my nerves acting up, because I have had, and get away from my doctor for a little bit, an entire Saturday of my neighbor playing music so loud that it's like my house vibrates. And he does this whenever he feels like it. Usually every weekend, there are times that in between I get a little bit of a break because he doesn't put it as loud or he's doing something else. I don't know what makes him do this. To me, it's like a cry for attention. Like, look at me, I can play music. I don't know what is wrong with him because there's got to be something wrong with this person that feels like he can disrespect everyone in the neighborhood because he wants to play his music. I don't care that you play your music as long as I don't have to hear it. Um, I even stopped, and I think I mentioned this in the prior video, listening to music because I don't know if the music that I was listening to, which is Christian music, that's all that I was listening to. And one song that my youngest son dedicated to me, every now and then I play it because it reminds me of him. Anyway, I don't want to say anymore, but it was so loud all day long. The head, forget it. it still hurts. So I had to take a muscle relaxant. I, I took it at 3, I think, 3 p.m. yesterday on Saturday. Because it takes a while for it to take effect in me because I have taken it for so long that it takes a few hours for it to kick in. So I had to eat something and take my regular medications that I take at night. So that's 2 Flexerils, that's 2 muscle relaxants. And that I'm supposed to take 2 a day, but I try to take it, if I need to, because it also gives me the redness. It's one of the side effects that it has. And I don't need this because it feels like a sunburn and it hurts like a sunburn. But in order for me to ignore this person who needs attention for some reason, his life, I don't know, hasn't gone the way he wants it, so he wants to punish everybody else. I don't know. I've asked God. It's been more than 20 years that he's lived in that house. And he thinks because he's lived in there, I've lived here since I was 15. I have seniority. Okay. I've lived here over 40 years. So I have never bothered anyone with my music. At one point, I would play the Christian music loud to see if, you get the point. And that would last maybe a day or two because I couldn't take it. The reason that I have to call the police is, past 1. He played his music until almost 1. And he started lowering it a little bit, lowering it. He has been playing this music for over 20 years. Well, since he got there. It's been over 20 years, a little bit over 20 years, maybe 23 or so. The thing is that nobody else has the guts to call, but they all complain. They have all complained, and they come to me like, I can't stand the music either. Have you hear the music? And I'm like, I live next door to the music. The man behind him one time started like retaliating. Like I tried and playing his Mexican, so he's playing his Mexican music. At one point, I had 5 different neighbors playing their own music. I had country music, 80s music, Mexican, redneck music. Like, I don't know what else to call it. Sorry if I offend somebody. I don't mean to. I just don't know what, like, I can't even understand what they're saying. But then they try to sing over the song. And I'm like, 5 different music at the same time that I had to call the police years ago. Then I said, is there anything I could do about this? Because I'm not schizophrenic and I can't live like this. I can't move. I wish I could, but I can't. So to make this long rant shorter, I woke up a little bit earlier than usual from taking the muscle relaxant. And he was still playing the music. And I'm like, is that music? Because sometimes I even think that because I've heard it for so long, that any kind of noise that is outside, I'm like, wait, I need to go and look at the camera. Oh my gosh, blasting. I mean, like he was in a concert. Sorry, my throat hurts really bad. And so that happened, okay? I had to deal with that. But this past few weeks have been one thing after the other, that things that don't make sense, that when you know that things don't make sense, they're not from God. They're from the enemy. And then I tried so hard and I prayed for over an hour. And I'm pouring my heart out to God. I don't want to call the police. I don't want to call the police. Is there anything you can do? Please. I'm sick of this. Nothing happens. I try to get a hold of my husband because he's at work. And there are days he has to come in during the night. There are other days he has to work during the day, which is, I mean, insane. Because today is Sunday, starting Sunday, and they have meetings, they have whatever. If they're gonna have an inspection, because he works in a plant, so he has to be there. And then they tell him, "Oh, well, you gotta come to the meeting," and he's like, "Well, how am I gonna sleep? Like, I don't get any sleep." I mean, so we have been wanting for him to get to be able to be retired. You can't, because everything is so expensive that I'm scared to death that if it retires, we won't be able to afford anything. That we're going to be homeless. That we're going to fall into a lot of things that we've been trying to avoid all our lives that we have been married. So that's not happening anytime soon. And another thing is, I mean, I do trust God, but as somebody that comes from trauma, and my mother told me that the reason I'm here and on earth and I was born is to make her happy. So as a little girl, I felt I had to fix everything and everybody because that was my job, to make her happy. Well, I tried. I couldn't make her happy. But that's a long story. But what happened with this appointment? Now he finally, I think the music is off. I'm not even sure. I don't want to check. Um, uh, because he will lower it to the point that all you hear is boom, 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 boom. And then it's like psycho. But yeah, he was still playing it, and it was almost 1 a.m., which you're only supposed to play like if you're making noise. I don't know why the city allows people to make noise until midnight. It should be at least 10 o'clock that you shouldn't bother your neighbor. Right? That's just, me. But other people work different times. When I was a nurse, there's 3 shifts. I was lucky enough to, I was blessed that I could work from 7 to 3, go pick up my children, cook for them, be with them when they came home from school. But then there's like, somebody picks up from 3 to, what was it? 11, and then 11 to 7. I'm so sorry. So the appointment with the doctor was a total flop. I don't know what to call it, because I asked him to do this test, which I looked. I was just like looking to see, is there anything wholesome and anything that it's not either a crime or something going on with the government. Because I have YouTube, but then like I said, I bought an antenna, but I don't get that many channels, and they're all about the same news, crimes, and I'm like, is there anything else in the world happening? Nobody had good grades. Nobody. There's nothing positive anymore. So I'm looking, and I saw this video about, it's called Sjogren's syndrome. Um, very similar symptoms to fibromyalgia. So I asked my doctor, and this is the one I said in the previous video, that it said that it could affect your brain. Well, giving you the fogginess. I already have that. That I forget what I'm talking about. That I forget a word. That I forget. And it has nothing to do with me cognitively not being able to remember things. Is like suddenly if I'm talking, I will forget a word. And this because of the medication. The medication is for people that have seizures. So of course you're like interrupting the nerves from going boom, 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 boom all the time, so that you can get a little bit of relief. Let me tell you, it's not working that well. And I'm getting worse because nobody would do surgery on my back anymore. And the key to me feeling better is I grow spurs, like bones, to the side of my spine. And when I was going to Tampa, LSI, it was called Laser Spine Institute. They would shave those bones and expand the spinal cord space so that it wouldn't hit the nerves. They don't want to do that anymore. They want to put rods up your back, which their reviews for this are horrendous. People have said that they are in worse shape after they did it than they were before. If I'm worse, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I can't take it right now as it is. I'm in a lot of pain, excruciating pain sometimes, that I can't, my legs shake to the point of like a little old lady trying to get up just to use the restroom, just to try and bathe, try and clean a little. Let me tell you, my house is clean as I can clean it. Not like before when it took me 2 hours to clean the entire house. Now it takes me days. By the time I'm done with, I think I'm done with cleaning the entire house, I have to start over. Because it's been so long, so many days. The house is small, so when you put the air conditioner on, I had to have fans because this medication makes me hot, right? So, oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I'm so uncomfortable. But, so, to spare you with the details, the appointment was a disappointment. Because I'm telling my doctor, can you do this test to see if I have this? I know that there's not a set test that would say, hello, you have fibromyalgia, or this one would say, oh yeah, you have Sjogren's syndrome. And because they're so similar, but there are differences. And very, I would say, I don't know, but I think Sjogren's is worse than the fibromyalgia. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you have Sjogren's, it's spelled Sjogren's, but it's pronounced Sjogren's. I didn't know that. So I told my doctor, however, I'm like, do I have this? And he was like, oh, I know what you're talking about. After I asked him to do what is called an antibody test, and they they call it an ANA test, which tells you to the point of how much inflammation you have in your body, but it doesn't tell you where. It can't pinpoint, yeah, you have inflammation here, there, and I know it's all over my body. It's even in my gums. I went to the dentist because our dentist, retired. So I went to a new dentist, And she's like, your mouth is inflamed big time. And I'm like, you think you're telling me something new? I know that. Not only do I know that my entire body is inflamed, inside and out. There are times my belly gets so big because it affects your organs inside. They get inflamed, so then you look like you're pregnant. A long time ago, I mean, this is like over 30 years ago. I was in a store. I can't remember the name because it was a new store, craft and stuff, and it's not like Hobby Lobby or anything like that. I can't even remember the name of the store because it didn't last that long being here. So we went to the store and the cashier was a young girl and she's like, "Are you pregnant?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sick." That girl felt like, oh my gosh, what did I just do? And I'm like, look, don't worry about it. I know that I may look pregnant, but I get inflamed. I get a lot of inflammation, and sometimes that happens. So don't beat yourself up about it. It, I'm not holding that against you because I look pregnant. So don't worry about it. And she was so apologetic that I felt like giving her a hug. Like, it's like, don't worry about it. She was, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh. And she's packing, little things that I bought for craft and stuff. And she was so embarrassed. And everybody behind me was looking at me like, how dare she? And I'm like, it's okay. I'm not that kind of person that would say, oh my gosh, how dare you? If I look pregnant, then people are going to think I'm pregnant. And I was young. I mean, I could have been pregnant. It's okay. It doesn't bother me. What bothers me is when people don't listen to me, especially a doctor whom I trust, who knows a lot of the things that I've been going through emotionally with my mother, my children, my whole family. So I would think he, knowing this by now and him treating me in all 3 clinics that he's had, like private office. And the thing is, it's just himself, and he works 1 day a week. That can drive anybody crazy, because if you need anything, you have to wait for that 1 day that he works for you to try to call and say, I need this medication. I told him to give it to me. Nobody has done anything for me to get this medication. I don't need it. Look, I take a lot of medication. I don't need it. My body needs it to survive. For me to get out of bed, I need this medication. My body, not me. But if it was up to me, I would throw them in the garbage. All of them. But I take a high blood pressure medication, which is also in my entire family. Now this time, for some reason, the cholesterol was high. But big, I have never, and I'm like, this lady came to my house to draw my blood. I don't know if they, who tested this blood. I have never in my life, I had 242 of cholesterol. I'm like, my cholesterol has never been high. I remember when a normal cholesterol was 250 or under. So if we were back then, I would be normal. And then they started lowering it to to the point that now it's like, what do you want us to eat? Lettuce? Because my grandfather used to say to the doctor, and he was a pharmacist, and also like he, the family doctor. His throat is hurting really bad. So he would tell the doctor every time he went what he needed and what he had. And there were times that he was so frustrated that he would leave. And my mother was so angry because she's like, I made this appointment for you. And he would be in the car waiting for her to get him out of there, because he was like, they don't know what I need. They're going to do this and that and the other, and they don't know. And I feel exactly the same. Now I feel exactly like him, because I believe that, what is this hair? It's bothering me. I believe that he had all these conditions, but at that time, and this was, he was born in 1893. 1893. So when I was born, he was in his early 70s, I believe. I'm not sure. But I think he was 70 something. So he raised me while my mother worked. And I believe, looking back and looking at all the symptoms that I have, and that now I can relate to having this Sjogren's syndrome, which could be a little bit worse than the fibromyalgia. I could even have both at the same time. Oh, great! Good news. So I tell my doctor to do this test to see how high the ANA is, because I feel awful. So I'm thinking I'm having a really bad flare-up, because these past 2 weeks have been very stressful to both my husband and I, because things have been happening to us that are really weird. I mean, weird. That you'd be like, what? Yes. So, things you can't explain. The thing is, I always make a note. My husband goes to the office, and then he calls me after. He sees my husband. No problem with him. Never a problem with my husband, because he's male. I'm female. Do you know how many insults I've gotten from doctors because I'm a woman? Every time I came from, I would go to a new doctor or something, the insurance changed, so I'm looking for doctors, and my daughter knew that I was going to come home crying, because I had one doctor yelled at me so badly in front of all his staff. You need to do this. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm sick. I had an accident. But also, I believe that now, thinking back, I've always had this. I was never able to exercise. I was never able to participate in PE. At the age of 15, when I met my husband, and I went to meet my mother-in-law, because my husband and I were serious from the beginning, that we wanted to be together. So I went to her house, and they let me stay for 15 days. I don't know how my mother agreed to that. I think it was heavenly intervention, because she would have never agreed to it otherwise. So I was peeling a boiled egg. It hurt on the tip of my fingers so bad that it felt like I was stabbing myself with the eggshell. And I was like, ouch, ouch, ouch. And I had to keep it under cold water so it wouldn't hurt that much. And my mother-in-law, she's like, oh, you're so delicate. And I'm like, thank you. It hurts. I didn't know why, but it did. So I believe I've had this for a long time. Probably since I was little, or maybe I was born with it. The Sjogren says that it's a genetic thing. I don't know if my cousins have also been misdiagnosed, but the medications that you have to take for that are very dangerous. I mean, they will kill you before you're supposed to die. Let's just say that. That's what I read. That's what my doctor confirmed. And when I'm talking to him, he's like, so do you know what an ANA is? Because I did one on you. I'm like, you have got to be kidding me. I asked you to do it. I study nursing. You know this. And you're asking me if I know what it is? I've had this conversation with him for years. Since the 90s. And then we lost touch for about 10 years. And it was my husband's insurance from where he works. They would change it. They would do this. They would do that. And I'm like, oh, I can't deal with this. So we didn't know where he went. We met him at the doctor we were going to at that time. There was nobody else. I have seen every doctor, and I was stuck with the one I had. Let me tell you, I was 120, between 123 and 125, 125 or 123 pounds. My daughter at that time, between 14 and 16. She would go to the doctor sometimes with me. And she would come home from school and tell me, did you eat? I know you haven't eaten. Did you eat? And I'm like, I don't know. Did I eat? And then I had to think, because I get so busy. I wanted to clean the house. I wanted to do everything for them when they came home. I made snacks, I made cakes, I made Rice Krispie treats, whatever I could have on hand, I would do for them to not only have the meal. We didn't have a lot of money, so the meals were, whatever we could get. So she would go sometimes to the doctor with me, and I had this doctor one time tell me, I'm gonna fix you. You're praying to the wrong God. And my daughter and I looked at each other like, are you for real? He had just graduated from being a doctor, becoming a doctor. Oh my gosh, I'm praying to the wrong God? Really? Maybe it's the other way around. Because I love my God. I don't know what God you want to pray to, but that's on you. So he tells me the cholesterol is high, and I had told him, I'm starting to get a little sad because the pain won't go away. Big mistake, because then he takes that as, you need to take 3 different antidepressants. I'm like, are you insane? If I've had this for so long, which I had an accident in Puerto Rico in 1985, February 1st of 2026, it would be 41 years, because my daughter, her birthday is in September. She was 4 months old when I had this accident. So October, November, December, January. Almost, she was going to be, she was going to be 5 months, but it was before, like, she turned 5 months old. She was still 4 months old. So I have this accident. So I attribute everything to the accident. Lost my gallbladder. I lost my uterus. I lost, and then, I would have surgery after surgery after surgery. I was even told by one nurse in Florida Hospital in Orlando that I was a drug addict. And she's saying this in front of my husband and my children. I'm at home all day cleaning and cooking with pain, with a migraine and a bag of ice on my head. All my kids' friends knew that I'm the lady with the bag of ice. It was a blue, light blue bag of ice that I always had on my head because of the headaches, and they wouldn't give me enough medicine for it. So, oh my gosh, it was horrific. So now that I'm getting older, I'm getting worse. COVID hit. I was gonna go to LSI to get a revision. COVID hit. And then when I went to look for them again, when things were better, this was by 2022, almost 2023, I go look for them. The clinic is not because it was more like a clinic setting than a hospital, but they had a surgical place and all the things that you can think of. You can get your MRI, you can get your everything done there. Plus they would do the surgery, and they would let you go to the hotel. Then you come back and they see you and they send you home. And if you have any problems, then you were supposed to go to a local doctor because it was far. It's 2 hours away. So everybody called me crazy, and I said, look, I'm trusting God that these doctors that I don't even know them are gonna take care of me. And they did. My doctor knows everything about this. I took 2 MRIs last year. I think it was one, or I don't know if it was like at the beginning of last year and then at the end of last year, or one in 2023. But if you compare both of them, you can see that I had, let's just say, for example, I had this much space, which is exaggeration, but so that you have, an idea. I had this much space, and now I have this much. I said, look at the MRI. I'm in pain because I'm probably having spurs from the last surgery that I had on my back in 2017. And I've had, in 2022, I went to Biospine Institute. They did injections. And when I went back to the doctor and I said, after a few months of this, I said, I'm still in pain. You know what the doctor said to me? Why are you here? What do you want me to do for you? Relieve my pain? Because he told me that they burn the endings on 2 places on my lumbar area. He said, if you have any more pain, come back. We'll do 2 more, but we can only do 2 at a time, which is not true. Because when I went to LSI, they did all of the lumbar area. But I'm one of the lucky persons, that people out there, that my nerves grew back. Unheard of, right? You would think it was unheard of. No, I learned that it happens. It could happen to a very low percentage of people. I'm one of those. Wow. How blessed. Okay. Anyway, he knows my history. He knows everything. So he wants to give me 5 more pills to take. When I told him that one that you're mentioning it is an antidepressant that I used to take a long time ago when they were trying to give me things to, because they thought, you're depressed, you have children, and your children are making you, crazy. And I'm like, no, my children are good. At that time, they were really good to me. They would, rub my back, my neck, not my back so much because I didn't have back pain until I fell at Walmart in 2010. Then I had started having back pain. Then in 2017, I broke my back. Broken. My lumbar area was swinging back and forth. I think I mentioned this before, but for those who don't know, it was going like this, and I'm like, why am I in so much pain? Well, the appointment was like, I don't, this is gonna help you. I'm like, no, it won't. I quit taking that for a reason, because it was giving me a lot of side effects. No, but if you take it again. What? Do you not hear me? It gave me bad side effects. And you want me to take it again because it's going to make me feel good. Because he gave it to another lady and she was out of her bed or whatever in 2 weeks. I'm not somebody else. I'm me. Could you treat me? Could you do something for me? Can you do the maintenance that my body requires and leave me alone? Because now I'm really super frustrated that he knows my history, but he's not those that they look back and let me see what happened before I give her this. Has she ever taken this? I didn't remember. I've had allergies to a lot of medication that I can't remember every little thing that they have given me. So many things to take because they want to put a band-aid on you, but they don't want to get to the root of the problem. Okay? This is what's going on. So now he's giving me more of a headache and anxiety because, and I told the pharmacy, I don't want this. So then I had to write a reason why. I'm like, I had a reaction. My doctor knows. I told him, and he thinks it's okay for me to take. Well, I found out that some of this medication, well, all of them, they would interact really bad with the medicines that I'm taking now. How come you don't know that as a doctor or a pharmacist? They know what I take. I got such a headache. I feel so frustrated. I don't know what to do. I care about him as a person, as my doctor. I have respect for him. I don't know why these things are happening to me in this way. Nobody listens anymore. Nobody cares anymore. And I know that I could live a full life with so much pain. You don't think that after so long, I'm gonna get a little depressed when I have a flare-up? And you want to give me 3 more pills and then 2 more, one for the cholesterol. I'm already taking one. I don't know why my cholesterol was that high, but it's in the family. My mother have always had it really high. I mean, in this 700. And she's 91. My grandfather lived 100 years. One of my uncles lived to 101. I don't want to live another year. I am in so much pain, but a pill is not going to help me. What I have has no cure. I told him that. You don't get that what I have has no cure. I love God. I talk to God. I ask him. He said, ask and ye shall receive. I'm still sick. I was born sick. I may never get healed. God knows why. I've accepted that. He can't. He has a child with Asperger syndrome, disease, I don't know. You know what he told me? Mind you, this man is a Christian. He's Catholic. Christian Catholic is the same. He told me, I cannot believe that, I am a doctor and I can't cure my son. What? What? Look, I was a teenager when I had my children. My first child, I was 18. By the time he was born. When I was pregnant with my daughter, she's the third and the baby of the family. I didn't feel her move. I was in so much pain because I had a cyst on my left ovary that was growing with the baby. As the baby grew, because to me, it's not a fetus, it's a baby. Sorry. I felt her twice the whole pregnancy. I felt her a very faint kick, and then I had gone at midnight to the bathroom because she started getting, I carry her low. I carry the boys very, very high. So, and I hardly had like a belly. So a lot of people said, oh, that's a girl. And I'm like, shut up. Like, honestly, I was like, so, like, worried. I didn't care whether it was a boy or a girl. I wanted a healthy baby. Like everybody wants a healthy baby, but sometimes you don't get that. That doesn't mean God doesn't love you. It means you're a special person that God knows how much you can take, and maybe He wants to teach you something. So my husband and I spoke. We were 21 by then. And we had our own house, a business, a car. We didn't have furniture. The whole house was like pretty much bare. We had furniture that you put on your patio, which it was so uncomfortable, but it was cheap. So that's all we could afford. And I would push them to the side and they could ride their bikes inside the house. That way I don't have to like have my baby unattended. They can ride their bike inside the house. And I'm there and I'm watching them. So I'm sorry. I'm just so frustrated. I'm frustrated. I have a headache. I don't know what else I can do. And I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, okay. So I wasn't feeling. Oh, when I went to the bathroom, it was midnight, and I felt her flip completely, and her head was down. I can't have a baby normally. I have to have a cesarean because my pelvic bone is too close to each other. And my leg, my right leg, I was born with it that it would pop out of the socket. So my doctor had told me here in Florida, because I would travel to have my children here, but then at that time, we had no money, and my mother said, "I'm sorry, I don't have any money either to pay for you to come." And I said, "Don't worry about it. God will take care of me. Um, I guess I'll have her in Puerto Rico." So I was scared to death because I knew the bad experiences she had with hospitals in Puerto Rico. So this is a foreign place to me because I had never gone to his hometown. I went all over the island except that place. It's ironic, but that's what happened. So I had 4 sonograms. Out of those 4 sonograms, they never gave me a copy or anything, so I don't have a sonogram of her. But back then, they would make a picture. If I can show you. They would make this is plastic. I have of my boys the sonogram picture. Looks exactly like this. That's it. And I don't know why they could never see the sex, because they were flipped the other way. It's like, I don't want you to see what I am. I want to surprise you. I'm like, okay, I don't really care. I don't mind. I wanted to be surprised. My husband too. We wanted to go like, oh my God, it's a girl, it's a boy, whatever. I knew my first 2 were going to be boys. I just knew inside. My third, because we were not expecting to have another child, because my doctor said, don't have another child or you'll be at risk, and you put the baby at risk. So that's playing in my mind. At the same time, I can travel. My 2 boys were born in Florida because my mother was living in Florida. She still lives in Florida. So anyway, once she flipped, she was I was 5 months pregnant. The pain got worse on my cyst thing. I guess it kept growing more and more. So I had to go in for another sonogram, and that was the 4th sonogram. And they said the sonogram revealed that the cyst was almost half the size of my baby. And they told me, my doctor said, if this thing does not pop on its own, and I'm like, what do you mean pop? It's gonna pop? He said, if it doesn't pop, we have to do surgery. I'm like, I'm pregnant. What? What are you talking about? So one day out of the blue, I'm in my son's my oldest son loved to be with his grandparents because he can get away with murder, right? Like grandparents, they do that. So I was watching my son, and I'm sitting on his bed, and he's playing on the floor, and he was, I mean, you couldn't even tell that there was a baby in the house because he was quiet. He wouldn't, after a while, he wouldn't even cry for food because I always had a bottle ready. I call him my little Bam Bam, like, the Flintstones, because he would take the jars of food when he was, I think, one, maybe 13 months old. I can't remember exactly, but once he was able to eat like baby food or food from what we're eating, but in, I had to mash it and all that. First of all, he didn't like the food. Not only the one I cook, but my mother-in-law. I mean, I'm like, okay, if you don't like the food that my mother-in-law's cooking, what is wrong with you? Because she was a good cook. She taught me to cook. And my grandfather was always afraid of being, don't go to the stove. You're gonna burn yourself. And I'm like, but how am I gonna learn to cook? So my mother never taught me. He didn't want me in the kitchen, but then I went around and there was like a hole between the dining room and the kitchen that, and then they had like cabinets on top. But there was this space that I could look, so I would look at what he's doing so I could learn by just watching him. And I would take notes. Sometimes I was like, oh, okay, so he's putting this, but he wouldn't measure anything. He would be like, shoo, 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 shoo. And we use adobo, like Goya, and like all kinds of like things and little spices, which it makes the food like very Hispanic food. So I would like, oh, what do you do? Ah, okay. So, and I would take mental notes and sometimes, written notes. Ay, my foot, hang on. Anyway, so after that last scary sonogram, and still, again, we never saw the sex of the baby. They were all showing us their butt, pretty much. I'm like, okay. So between 6.5 months, give or take, I started having contractions. And I'm like, this feels familiar, but I'm not sure. Because I don't know if it was the cyst or that it was a contraction. Because the cyst hurt so bad. Like, I guess that's why I didn't feel her moving, because the cyst, which is a sack of water, maybe was not letting me feel her kicks. And my husband and I sat down and we said, you know what? We don't know how this baby's gonna come. I haven't really felt her like the boys. They would cake all the time. And we were ready to take care of whatever God would give us. Whether she came with problems. And we didn't know it was gonna be a she, so we didn't buy anything. We were like, it's probably another boy. So we didn't buy anything. Anyway, the thing is that when I around that time that the pain got a lot stronger, I heard the pop. It was so loud that my youngest son, who was playing, and I was just laying on the bed and I was like trying to rest. My mother-in-law had my oldest, so that was a relief because he was a handful. So he was very mischievous, and we had to be like running after him. It's like, where are you going? But he was funny and mischievous at the same time. Anyway, my son playing on the floor, who I don't think he turned, not no yet, like he had not turned 2 yet, quit playing and looked at me because he also heard the pop. I know he doesn't remember this. He was too young, but I screamed so loud. My neighbor next door, she was cafeteria worker at a nearby school, and she would come home between 3 and 3:30, depending it, like if she had to go to the store and pick up something, or the supermarket to cook. She heard my screams because they needed to stop, and I was like, I'm in so much pain, oh my gosh, I'm going, am I dying? Is my baby okay? Ah! So she came over. She's like, what's wrong? And I couldn't get up. But my son, when he had gone out to be with his grandparents, left the door unlocked. Thank God. At that point, thank God. Because my youngest son was still too young, but he he was not one to like leave my side. He was very attached to me and my husband. He always wanted to be with us. So she comes over. She's like, you need to go to the doctor. So she called my in-laws because we knew each other. Everybody knew each other in this town. It was a small town at that time. But my mother-in-law took care of me. She put me in bed over there in her house, and and the pain kind of like started going away. But I'm like, I think the cyst popped, so that was an advantage to. We're not gonna have to go and have surgery because I was scared to death. I'm like, surgery and I'm pregnant in Puerto Rico did not mix because I'm like, I'm scared to death. These people are gonna kill me and my baby. So at 7 months, she was ready to come out. She wanted to come out, and it was like I was hospitalized twice, I believe, so they can stop the contractions because she wasn't ready to come out. Her lungs are not developed yet. So then by the time and I'm still in this pain and feeling contractions, and I went to the hospital. My father-in-law took me to the hospital so many times. That one time he's like, you know what? You're not giving birth. I'm hungry. Let's go. And I'm like, no, but I'm having pain. And he was like, and I'm hungry. Let's go. We've been here for hours. And in Puerto Rico, you waste your whole day going to the doctor or to the hospital. So we left. And I'm like, God, I'm in your hands. Because the whole way there, he was laughing and like he's trying to like cheer me up and take me away from the pain, like, just think happy thoughts and it'll go away. And I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Anyway, by 8 months, again, go to the hospital. And this time they said, if we can't stop your contractions, well, you're gonna have to go through an amniocentesis. And if her lungs, or the baby's lung, because we didn't know what it was, we're gonna have to do the cesarean. And I'm like, oh my gosh, she's not ready. Like, I was like, she's not ready. But I didn't know it was a she. And I wasn't expecting a daughter because I was so preoccupied with, is she okay? Is the baby okay? Right? But we were ready for whatever God wanted to bring to us. So I could not believe when my doctor said he wanted to heal his son of his Asperger. And could you accept him the way he is? He's an angel. If you have a child that has a disability, let me tell you how special you are to God. You're extremely special. And let me tell you why. God gives sometimes to these special people that can take care of these children because He knows you're resilient, you're strong, He loves you, He's there with you, He's there with your baby. And it means you have purpose in His life. I'm in pain, but I know because God, I have heard it from God. You're in pain because you have purpose. having purpose is very important to God. Going through a living hell here on earth, it doesn't mean God is angry at you. It doesn't mean God wants to punish you. And I know that people, and like I would ask myself, oh my gosh, how are we going to do this? We're poor. We're just trying so hard to keep afloat, and we're always like, we need more money. Like, how are we going to get more money? So my husband, went to school over there, and he said, I need to get an education beyond high school. And I said, yeah. So he would work during the day, hard. At night, he would go to school, to a college over there in Puerto Rico. The thing is, just to tell you how horrific my appointment was, it's like, my daughter was born. I was so nervous. I didn't go to sleep. They gave me an epidural. And yeah, you're supposed to be like, I saw my youngest son being born. My first one, my doctor thought I was too young, so he put me under general anesthesia. So I saw him 2 hours after I gave birth to him when I woke up. So my youngest, they gave me the choice. They said, do you wanna, this nurse over here in Orlando said, do you wanna feel like what it's like since you're a cesarean to have a baby naturally? I'm like, yeah. Why did I say why? It started shaking immediately after she, called the anesthesiologist. They gave me the epidural, and I'm like, why am I shaking again? And my teeth were. So she said, oh, that's a side effect of, it's okay. I'm like, because you're not going through it. But it was okay. I saw him. I felt when they went and took him away from my uterus, his house, his first house. I couldn't stop looking at him. And the nurse is like, I gotta clean him up. I'm like, but then can you bring him back so I can see him again? He was cute, so freaking cute and clean as a whistle. Like he just had a bath. Not a mark on him, nothing. No, like those things that when you have a baby, sometimes even a cesarean, your baby comes out and it's all like gunky and like got all this stuff. No, he was wet. So I guess I had a lot of amniotic fluid. So when they took him out, he looked like he just went through a bath, a shower, whatever. Because he was, perfect to me. He was perfect. He was so freaking cute. And his cheeks, and he was the chubbiest kid I had out of all three of my children. I was so in love with him that I was like, God, I was afraid that, when you have a second child, you're like, do I have enough love to give to two kids, that I love my first one so much. Am I going to be able to love my second one the same? Oh my gosh. Yes. The answer is yes. I have so much love for both my boys. But I wasn't expecting my third, and it was such a surprise when I came to, and my husband and my mother was there, and my in-law, my mother-in-law, was taking care in Puerto Rico because I had to give birth to her in Puerto Rico. She was taking care of the other two, my two boys. When they said, it's a girl, my eyes, I started crying. And I had so many tears in my eyes, and my hands were like tied up like this. So I couldn't like wipe my eyes. And the nurse was, I could see like a shadow. And she was like, look at her. She's so beautiful. And I couldn't. And I started smiling and crying. And I, boom, the anesthesia. The epidural took over. And I was out. And the rest is history, you know. And yeah, today I have problems communicating with them. That's a whole no other, you know, thing. But I love my children so much. I can never, ever say, why did you give me this child, Lord, that can't do this or that or the other, and I can't cure him because look at me. I'm a doctor. I should be able to cure him. It's like saying, my baby got cancer and there's nothing I can do. Then you gotta accept it. And you say, but why? Why is God doing this? Sometimes there's things we need to learn. Sometimes He knows you can handle that and you have purpose for Him. He loves you so much that He knows that you will be able to take care of this child and love this child. And even if you can't handle it and you give up your baby, God is not angry at you. He will never punish you for giving your child another home, since, you know, maybe at that time you say to yourself, I can't handle this, Lord. And you don't understand and you need that time, but then you give it up for adoption and then it's too late to get this child back. Don't ever feel with, feel yourself with guilt. God loves you so much through thick and thin and whatever you're going through, like whatever I'm going through. I know He loves me. I wish He would listen to me. I'm coming, baby. I had to close the door because she comes in and just, I don't know, I had stuff on the floor and I haven't been able to clean. So anyway, I was taken aback when, the things that my doctor said. And I even asked him, so do you think I have this disease? Because he didn't even mention that. He said, you may. You could have. So why did I ask you to do this? I don't need antidepressants to... It's not about feeling better because I'm sad that I've been sick my entire life, pretty much. Am I not allowed to be sad? Jeez, I mean, I'm 63. And now I understand why I was so sick when I was little. I would get fevers out of nowhere. I would get headaches. I didn't know what they were. My mother even took me to have my eyes checked. Maybe she thought maybe she needs glasses. No, I was fine. No one at that time, and I was born 1962, they didn't know any of this. So they couldn't explain it. Now I know why I get my tummy and just feels big. So I have 3 sizes of clothes. When I'm really, really inflamed, regularly inflamed. And then sometimes I'm like, my belly went away. And I feel so excited because my clothes feel, they fit better, they feel better. But I have flare-ups all year round. I have told him this so many times. And you don't want to listen, and you want to give me more things to take that would give me more side effects than I already have. Okay? No, not happening. And you have to sometimes take over. Just because they're doctors and they went to medical school doesn't make them perfect. It doesn't make them know everything. But I'm angry because He knows so much about me, so much history. And it's not that he has not done, things for me. He's done a lot. But I don't want to take another pill. Can we just stick to what I'm taking? This is going to kill me in the long run because of the pain. My organs, they're going to come a time, they're going to start failing. I'm not a candidate for organ, donor. Like, nobody can donate nothing to me to live if I needed it. Because my body rejects everything that does not belong in my body. My body fights against it. So then I get more inflammation. I don't need that. So if I ever get cancer, if I ever get, I don't even know. Like, there's so many diseases out there. I don't want to take any more things. I already spoke with my husband that I said, if I get cancer, don't expect me to take chemotherapy and don't expect me to do radiation. I will let it kill me. I just want to be feeling comfortable before I die. But no, I saw my aunt died of cancer. It traumatized me because I was 15. And I saw what this medication did to her. Instead of helping her, it killed her sooner. She was in so much pain. My mother couldn't say goodbye to her. She was crying in the hallway and she was like trying to speak. I knew she wanted to see her. For her to, give her a hug. She couldn't lift her hands anymore. She was cold as ice. That day, the next day at 5 in the morning, I knew. Because I looked at my grandfather and we had, because he raised me, we had this look and I'm like, she's dying, right? And I've been seeing dead people since I was 3 in Puerto Rico because he would take me to every funeral in the world in Puerto Rico that he encountered. Because he knew the person. He knew everyone from one end to the other end of the island. Because he had to travel for medications and he would treat people, like I said, like if he was a doctor. Because back then they used more of natural things than chemical things now. So I try, my stomach is hurting because I had to take medicine for my headache and oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go eat something because the stomach is like, ugh. But anyway, all that to tell you, just keep on trusting God. Because no matter what, one thing, but let me finish this. No matter what you're going through, God is right there with you. He is always there with you. He lets us go through things sometimes. And he has a reason. I would like to know that reason too. But I know that when he told me, because you have purpose, which I still don't kind of like, okay, I have purpose. He had told me that he had a job for me. I'm gonna be with him. He's preparing me for that job later in life. Eternity. The millennial that is gonna happen. For those 1,000 years, to me, would be like, I'm gonna be learning everything he wants me to learn. Probably work to do whatever he wants me to do. And then for eternity, when eternity comes and the devil is finally taken out and put in a lake of fire, we will live together. We will have a new body. We will have new earth New Heaven. I long for that today. I wish I had a magic wand that I could say, okay, bye. I see you later. And I would definitely take my husband with me because I'm like, if I'm coming, he's coming. So if it's not his time, then God is keeping me around so we can be together. But there's purpose for God when He puts you through so much sometimes that you think you're gonna break or have a nervous breakdown. I had a nervous breakdown at one point. He wants us to trust Him. It's hard, not easy. I know it's hard. And I apologize to Him every day, sometimes all day long, because like if I had a bad thought, I'm like, Lord, forgive me. I'm so frustrated that I just thought of something that is not appropriate to think about, in that way. And I would leave you with, I want you to think. Look around. Look at all the beautiful things God has made. The animals, the trees, the different seasons, the moon, the sky, the sun. He made it all. He gave that gift to us. And we screwed it up. We screwed up. And I'm like, but why would you give us a choice? That's my argument with God. Why would you give us a choice? We're dumb. And we're going to make mistakes. But He's like, I don't mind you making mistakes as long as you're thinking about me. As long as you want to be with me. Because one day I'm going to take those tears that you're shedding and turn them into joy. Because we're going to be together. Can you imagine eating with God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit? Can you imagine? I can't wait. And I want you to know, whatever you may be going through right now, give it to Him. Tell Him, I can't take it anymore, Lord. I'm giving it to you. Please help me. Because He will, and it may not be in your time, like I want it to be now. He works in mysterious ways. He does. But that doesn't mean he doesn't love you. He loves you so much. You matter to Him so much. And I wish all of us could go to heaven and meet each other. Pray together with God. Can you imagine we'll be with God in peace for once, without the devil around, without Satan on our back telling us things, negative things, and putting in our mind things that we're not, because we are important to God to the point that there are times He cries with us too, because he's also hurting. Can you imagine if you get frustrated with your child, how much more frustrated does he have to be when one of his kids takes the life of someone else or decides to steal or decides to do whatever and make the wrong decision? He's also disappointed and frustrated. That's why he has to come back. I'm coming, baby. She's knocking on the door now. What the heck? She does that with her boy. I seen her. Anyway, this is long. My back is killing me. I gotta go eat something. Oh my gosh. I'm going to put a patch on my back. But that's what happened. And also I'm going to go get the sonogram for my throat because I'm losing my voice. It's raspy. I cough constantly to the point that there are times blood. It doesn't come up, but I feel it. You feel like if you have put like a nickel or a penny down your throat, that's how it feels. So we're gonna schedule that and go have this thyroid scan and see if there's something there that is blocking me from. Sometimes when I swallow, I have to eat like bland or very soft and drink a lot of water because I've been talking and now it's like my voice is like, bye. Go away. Stop talking. You know? I love you guys so much and I really need your prayers because I know that I'm gonna have to live this for the rest of my life. Whatever life God wants me, whatever He wants me to do. And I heard this person say, you know, every morning we should say, what can I do for you today, Lord? Instead of saying, can you do this for me, Lord? What can I do for you? Think about it, you know? But yeah, the appointment didn't go so well, but I'm praying about it. And that's all I can do. So I hope you have a wonderful Sunday. And I know, you know, the people that don't work Saturday and Sunday, you're not looking forward to Monday. But just think, if you're alive to see a Monday or see today, thank God for it. And you may think like I think sometimes, like, why am I going to thank you for more pain today? But that's not the point. The point is He's working with us to make us stronger, to make us the people and the warriors and strong that we need to be for Him, for His kingdom, for His glory. Give Him thanks every day. Every day. Okay? I gotta go because if not, Minnie, she's gonna keep on bumping. Open the door. And I have to go eat something for real. May the Lord bless you and keep you. And remember that I pray for all of you, your children. And I know things in these times are very hard. And I know that if I was raising my kids now, I would probably need all those antidepressants because, oh my gosh, I feel for you guys that are still raising little kids or your grandkids or whatever kid. It is hard, but you can do it through Christ, who strengthens you and blesses you every single day. Okay? Think about all the things He's giving you. Think about all the things you see around you and thank Him. If you see a butterfly, God is near and God is telling you, I love you. And just pray. Have a relationship with Him. Invite Him in to your heart. He's not only your Father, your Creator, He's your friend. Right now, He's my only friend besides my husband here on earth. But if I go outside, I look around, I'm like, whoa! They put little lights on the light post, you know? I think that's what they're called. And they put this like Christmas, and I'm like, they did it so early this year, and I wanted to, you know, that we did a deck in the front. I wanted to to do something about it. Like I told my husband, I want to go to Hobby Lobby. Forget Hobby Lobby. The hospital bill took Hobby Lobby. Anyway, may the Lord bless you, keep you, protect you always. And let's not lose our faith because that's what the enemy wants. I love you.